It's a very peaceful day today. I'm at Thoresby Hall. Just come here just for an aimless, wheezy wander, really. Just to wander around, maybe perhaps find a few little bits, but being early December, it's difficult to find anything anywhere really, but especially a well-maintained parkland such as we have here at Thoresby Hall. I was on my way back to the car, and sometimes you just literally bump into something, and I have done. It's here, tucked in to these oak buds, and it's a purple hairstreak egg. And this is an isolated oak. Lots of oaks about, but this tree is obviously well used by purple hairstreaks. But I never expected to look on the very first cluster of buds and find an egg of a tree-top dwelling butterfly. This really was a case of I couldn't believe my luck when I bumped into this, and this is really only, well, probably just under 5 foot off the ground. It's on one of the lowest branches of a single oak here growing at the side of the walled gardens of Thoresby Hall. I always tend to have a casual look between the buds of oak during the winter months, always looking and hoping that I might find one of these. I'm not collecting it, I'm not going to rear it, but I just like to keep my eye in annually now for the eggs of a number of hairstreaks that we have here in Nottinghamshire. They're beautifully sculptured hairstreak eggs, very much like the eggs of most of the blues and small copper. They're absolutely beautiful little things. And this egg is laid a little bit on the side as you look at it now, so very obvious to see. People think, well, how can you see those things? But it stands out like a sore thumb. It's easy for me to say, I suppose, because I've looked for these for years, but even from a distance they stand out. They're not the impossible things to find that you may think they are. To be honest, if you measure this egg across from above, then it's only about 1.1 millimetre in diameter. Tiny little things. And it's amazing to think that tucked in there is a caterpillar fully formed, and it will remain fully formed until it emerges probably towards the end of February. Quite often they seem to hatch earlier than what they should do, but on hatching they find a large bud to burrow into, and then they eat the contents of that bud, and then as they grow they tend to feed on the flowers and the opening foliage. The larva can be very easily beaten from the low branches of oaks as you get later into the spring, and quite beautifully marked, almost slug-like larvae they are too. But it's just the sheer joy of finding this. I know I've found loads of these in the past, but I've had a good walk around Thoresby here, not found anything. I've had a good look, and then all of a sudden I bump into this, a tiny little 1.1 millimetre miracle. And to think that the larva in there is well protected and can survive the worst of the British weather and the British winter. One of the nicest things as well is there was a woman stood about 10 yards away just looking at me. A lot of them do and wonder. And she came up and she said, "I hope I'm not disturbing you." I said, "No." And she was very interested into what I was filming and what I was looking at. And she was from Canterbury, obviously staying at this magnificent Thoresby hotel, and she was quite enthralled with this little egg, as indeed am I.